Hi there, everybody. I'm Ginny Massie, and today we'll be discussing movement personalities. Now, if you haven't heard of movement personalities before, that's a-okay. I think it's a term that I have coined. I don't know that I've heard it elsewhere, but I could be wrong. So I'm not going to claim it 100%. But movement personalities is something that I have really thought of over my years in teaching Pilates and all of the different people that I have taught, all of the different bodies that I have taught Pilates and movement to. And I've coined the term movement personalities because it's really about the way that people prefer to move their bodies based on the emotions that they feel when they move. So I'm sure you have come across many different types of movers, and over time I've kind of categorized these types of movers into certain categories, and there's way more than I have put together. Today I'm going to be sharing two of these movement personalities with you. And hopefully you can relate to some of this information with maybe some of the clients that you are currently teaching. So the two I'm going to share with you today are the Adrenaline Junkie and the Linear Thinker. And the reason I want to share these two specifically with you today is they are kind of polar opposites on how they like to work in the body, but also what I want to share is kind of how these personalities really tend to think about movement and prefer to move in their bodies according to how their brain works in the natural, real world outside of movement. So oftentimes, how we like to move our bodies is in relation to how we like to move throughout the day. So when you get a really good handle on how your clients prefer to move, you can start to adjust their classes or programs to that type of movement, so that way they get even more out of their movement, and then they really start to look at you as the expert teacher. So let's jump into the first one, the Adrenaline Junkie. Now, the Adrenaline Junkie is really like your athlete, your weekend warrior, your busybody, the clients who are always on the go. They've got a full plate. Maybe they have a full social life, a full work life on top of it, and they're just a go, go, go type of person. Now, if you were to come in and teach these clients a very Zen-like Pilates experience, something, and I'm not making fun because I teach this way myself often, but to come in and be like, all right, come in, lie on your back and breathe. These people are going to be up and out of there in probably one class or less, right? So they don't want to just come in and breathe and tune into their body. These are the type of people, the adrenaline junkies that I'm talking about. They are go, go, go. They thrive on that go atmosphere, and they are not one to come in and just slow down. These are the clients that really learn best by moving first. So that's my first tip for you, is for the adrenaline junkie, really get them in, get them moving. Don't concern yourself with these particular clients on getting them tuned into their brain-body experience within the first 10 minutes. They need to get in and get their, ass busted for the first few minutes in order to earn their respect. You have to respect how they prefer to move, and that's their preference. So if we don't honor that and we try to force them to change how they prefer to move, they're just going to move on and find somebody else. So we kind of have to meet people where they're at. So the adrenaline junkie really learns best by moving first. They really might not care or want to know the why for quite a while. So if you teach them all of the different whys about this is why we're doing this, and this is how you connect to that, and this is why we're doing that, they might not care. So it's really important to just give them the exercises, really make them, push them, make them sweat in a safe way, right? And then once you've earned their trust, that's maybe within 2 sessions or maybe within 2 months, depending on their personality. That's when you can start to break down the moves and get them to connect to their bodies on a deeper level. So they're not going to stick around long enough to learn Pilates if you don't understand their deep desire to move their body first. So that's the Adrenaline Junkie. I hope that's really helpful for you. Next, we're going to move into the linear thinker. And the linear thinker is somebody who's really analytical. They're a really deep thinker. And probably, if you could put a profession on it, they would probably be your accountants of the world. They have a very black and white way of thinking about things because that's just how they are. That's their nature. That's how they're made up. And for these clients, you don't really want to give them overly complex exercises or overly complex cues. They really, really learn best by just receiving one piece of information at a time and no more than 2 moves or cues per exercise. So that often means go out, come in. So if you're looking at reformer footwork, push out, pull in. Don't worry about all the other fluffy stuff. Don't worry about adding in all of the extras. So choreography for these types of clients, the linear thinkers, is often very challenging. Choreography is very fluid in their mind, even if it's a 4-step exercise. Push out, open the arms, close the arms, pull back in. To them, that might be too much information. They need just 2 moves, out, in, up, down, left, right, something like that for the linear thinkers makes them feel more at ease in their body. Okay, so we call those a 2-count exercise. 2 counts, no more. Really, you can't do less. So no more than 2 counts per exercise. These clients are really overly focused on doing things correctly. That's just how their brain works. If you think about an accountant, they've got to make sure that those numbers add up right and correctly the first time. This is just how these clients typically work in their brain. So too much information really makes their brain jumbled, and that's what makes them stop moving or stop breathing because they're overthinking about the exercise. Now, they really want to be successful in their Pilates. So that's how, when you know that this is their movement personality, you can give them less information in order for them to achieve more success. And then after time, once they really start to develop their skills in a particular exercise or a particular sequence, that is when you can layer in another cue or another movement. Just don't call it choreography because their brain is immediately going to go scramble. So adding in one more cue or one more movement to their exercise is going to help them expand their brain-body experience, but only once they have the base knowledge down first or the base exercise down first. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to learn even more ways to level up your cueing, programming, and client connection skills, check out my online program for Pilates instructors, Class Design Superstar, with the link below. See you next time.